Shares of GeneDx soaring more than 40% today to a 52-week high after reporting Q3 earnings, which beat expectations. The company also seeing its first profitable quarter in its history, raising full-year guidance as well. Joining me here at Post 9 is GeneDx CEO Katherine Stueland. Welcome. It's nice to meet you and have you on our show. I'm looking at an analyst report, which really says you guys knocked it out of the park. Reaches orbits, smashes numbers, achieves profitability ahead of schedule. They have a $95 price target, and we saw what your stock is doing today. How'd you do this?
So I think what investors are realizing is that you can drive really good patient care and drive a really good business and be able to achieve profitability all at the same time. I think for many years, there's been this tension between can you put patient care at the same level as profitability, and we're proving day in and day out that you can.
For those who don't know anything about the business, what are your primary objectives?
Yeah, most people don't know GeneDx has actually been around for about 24 years. So we were spun out of the National Institutes of Health. And the mission really was to diagnose any genetic disease as early as possible using information that resides within each one of us, a genome sequencing product. So we go deep into the genome to be able to identify whether or not there's an underlying cause of disease. We're able to clearly and definitively put a diagnosis on that. And in the majority of the work that we do, this is for kids with rare diseases. So think about epilepsy, think about children who are having seizures, think about autism, kids who are missing milestones. So we're able to really go in and provide a definitive diagnosis within just a few weeks, and we're able to do it affordably.
Are you exclusive in pediatrics?
So today our main focus is in pediatrics, and the reason for that is 1 in 10 Americans has a rare disease. Half of them are children, and today they go through a diagnostic odyssey that is about 6 to 8 years before they get the right diagnosis, which is really unconscionable. We can provide that information within weeks, if not days. So we are trying to solve this really devastating health crisis for the children and for the families that are supporting them. There's a higher rate of depression and anxiety for the kids. There's a higher rate of depression and anxiety for the parents. So it's a devastating family health problem, and we have the technology today to be able to put an end to those diagnostic odysseys for so many.
The word on the street, I guess, for lack of a better way of saying it, is that you refocused the business, that you went from thousands and thousands of tests essentially down to less than a handful. Is that correct? And why did you make that transition?
So interestingly, GeneDx was acquired by a company called Semaphore that had gone public via a SPAC. And I became CEO of the combined entity in the spring of 2022. At that point in time, market sentiment changed dramatically from growth at all costs to profitability really is what mattered to investors. So the board gave me a very clear mandate, which was how do you make this company profitable as soon as possible? So we actually looked across the entire portfolio of tests from the parent company as well as from GeneDx, shut down all of the business lines of the parent company because they were not showing the strength. They were highly commoditized markets. And what we had in GeneDx was a very differentiated product with a market leadership position. 80% of whole exome sequencing comes through GeneDx. So we have a competitive advantage that is unparalleled, and this very wide open runway to be able to help an ever-growing number of families.
When you talk about the ever-growing runway, how big is the market?
So we think about the pediatric segment as a $3 billion market opportunity. So $2 billion in the outpatient pediatric setting. So think about a child who has unexplained symptoms. As a parent, you're taking that child to a pediatrician, you're being referred out to a specialist, and that's where we're able to intervene and provide a diagnosis. The other $1 billion opportunity is in the NICU. So genetic testing is woefully underutilized in the NICU setting. Only about 5% of babies in the NICU have a genetic test. So we're going in with a rapid whole genome, and we're able to diagnose within 5 days and be able to move that baby out of the NICU and hopefully onto a healthier path.